Life is a gift. You shouldn't take advantage of it at all.
I definitely think the same. You shouldn't take anything for granted.
Yeah, in a way. Life is a gift because it's beautiful to live.
I like to be alive.
I don't know. I guess I'm a little more realistic. Nah, not really.
Yeah, and I think you gotta treat it like one. Like, you know, don't hold anything back, don't have no regrets.
Yeah, life is definitely a gift because there's some people that don't have it and we have it, so let's not waste it.
Life is a gift. We all need to cherish it and do what we can with it.
Every life should be equal. No one's life should be more important than anyone else's.
Yes, it's all equal. Life is equal. No matter if you're sick, something, you cripple or nothing, it's equal.
Absolutely. Every life is equally important. We're all given the same opportunities here, so.
I don't feel that anybody's lives more important than others. There's just some people that need more, and you need to pay attention to them more because they need the extra help in life and stuff.
No, I think all lives are equally the same because you only get one life, so you know they're all equally the same and important.
I think the value of a life is determined through the life they live. If somebody's proven to be a criminal and lives a horrible life and is cruel to other people, his life isn't at the same value as somebody who lives their whole life trying to help others and be a good person.
I feel life is equal until the point where people start realizing good and bad and they make the wrong choices.
I think everyone's equal. I think all lives are equal. No one's more special than anyone else.
Yeah, I think God created us all equal. Even though some people are famous and some people aren't, it doesn't matter. You're still people.
Yeah, it's equally the same because you're all born the same, and after it's basically what you do with your life that makes you different.
I know personally that everybody is worth the same amount. Of course, you're going to look at somebody that you don't like and you're going to say they're of lesser value, but you know what? I think in the end we all are the same.
We have a tendency to take things for granted.
Gratefulness does not come naturally.
We often fail to appreciate what we have.
In fact, we usually want even more and feel entitled to have things just the way we want them to be.
The truth is that everything we are
and all that we have has been given to us by God.
None of it is earned, none of it is deserved.
At the top of the list of all these blessings is the gift of life.
And that's what we'll be talking about today, God's gift of life. Hi everyone, I'm Ian.
And I'm Marissa.
And this is Realfaith TV. Most of the teens we met on the street felt that life is a gift and that all people are created equal, regardless of their abilities, age, or mental capacity.
We'll talk with them again later in the program and also meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Nicole, who believes that all life is sacred and a gift from God.
God created this world and He loved this world so much. And I think that if people don't realize that life is a gift from God, then it creates this idea that your body is your own and that, you know, it's my body, my rules, I can do whatever I want with it. And that creates a lot of selfish behavior in terms of your own body. And I think that when people view life as a gift from God, their own life as a gift from God, other people's lives as a gift from God, life becomes sacred, and that's the point of our existence. We are all equal in God's eyes, the poorest and the weakest as well as the richest. And it's so important in the pro-life cause. I mean, a lot of people normally think that the pro-life cause is only about abortion, but it's not. It's about respecting the dignity of all human life, regardless of gender, of age, of mental capacity, and all those kinds of things. And while, you know, a lot of times society likes to tell us unless you're functioning in society or you're contributing to some societal greater good, you're not as good. But that's not what God tells us. That's not what my faith in God tells me. And the reason we're here is not for, you know, to accomplish things. We're here to love and to be loved. I just try every day to show other people the same dignity that I feel that God created us with. And I mean, that can come in the form of just showing somebody respect, maybe when you're angry with them, or not objectifying somebody. You know, for teenage boys, maybe not hanging up posters of, you know, half-naked women on the walls or something like that, you know. Anything that turns somebody into an object as opposed to someone created in God's image.
I agree that we all should view our own life and others as a gift from God. He is our creator, our maker.
Yeah, let's see what our studio guests have to say about this.
Let's meet them first. They are Anthony, Sarah, Jessica, Elias, Alex, and Lauren.
So, do you guys view life as a gift?
Of course. God put us here on earth. Without that gift, we wouldn't be here at all.
Yeah, I mean, if someone gives you a gift, I mean, you're going to respect that gift. You're not just going to take it and, like, throw it away or...
It's like getting a really expensive car as a gift for your birthday or something. You're not just going to go out and deliberately crash it because that's disrespectful for the person who gave it to you. It shows you don't care about it.
Yeah, but like I think that's a good example, but I don't think life can be compared to an object. It's not just something that comes to you in wrapping paper with a pretty bow on top. It's our existence, like it's who we are, you know. God gave it to us.
Yeah, exactly. And as Catholics, we believe that because humans are given a share in God's own life, which we might refer to as a soul.
Each human individual possesses the dignity of a person who is not something, but someone.
He is called by grace to a covenant with his Creator, to offer him a response of faith and love that no other creature can give in his stead.
In light of the sacredness of each human person, how can anyone decide to end the life of another human being?
Next, we asked the teens on the street about their views on actions that take the life of another person, like the death penalty and assisted suicide.
Let's see what they had to say.
Assisted suicide, wow, yeah, I guess it's good to an extent, I don't know.
I think it depends on the situation, because if they're not like getting any better or staying the same, then I guess it's okay to just let them go up to heaven.
I don't really agree with it, but for certain cases, depending on how bad somebody's really hurting every day, it might be not necessary, but if it's their choice, if they really don't want to live, if it's really killing them, then it's their choice.
Assisted suicide, I wouldn't go with that because it's wrong. You're basically killing somebody else, so it's like murder.
I'm against that very strongly because I don't think that we have enough painkillers nowadays that we can pretty much keep someone sedated and comfortable, and there should be no need for that.
I believe it is wrong to kill somebody, whether they want to be killed or the doctor makes the decision. All life, as we've said, is precious and it should be kept. You don't need to take extraordinary means to keep it alive and keep it going, but not to end it purposefully.
Do you think it is right for the life of a violent criminal to be taken away by society in punishment for a serious crime? Or do you think that life is so sacred that only God should decide the appropriate punishment?
Once again, I don't think God really factors into my belief in this. I just think that it's far better to have a person who's committed a crime like murder and have them rot away in jail. Well, not rot, that sounds horrible. But just have them stay in jail and think about their punishment every single day and what they've done so they can contemplate about it than rather just give them the easy way out and just let them end their own lives.
I don't think a prisoner's life should be taken for any type of crime because that's just helping them, because if you keep them in prison, I think it's far worse.
Nah, I agree with the death penalty. Yeah, I'm conservative, so I do agree with that 100%.
I'm not sure. It depends on the family, because if one of your family members gets taken away, you might feel like the person should be killed.
I think it depends on how big the crime is. If he took the life of someone else, then I think his life should be taken.
I think only God should decide.
God should decide your appropriate punishment.
Life is pretty important. I don't think taking someone's life in punishment for crime is necessary.
Human life is under attack in our society by abortion, assisted suicide, euthanasia, and the death penalty.
The Catholic Church is consistent in its teachings to protect the dignity of all human life.
Therefore, the Church opposes abortion, assisted suicide, and mercy killing.
It advocates for the suspension of the death penalty, teaching that non-lethal forms of punishment are more conformity with the dignity of human person.
Next, Nicole, our spotlight guest, tells us why she believes the death penalty and assisted suicide are wrong.
Views on assisted suicide and euthanasia is that it's wrong, bottom line. Being a part of the pro-life cause says that, you uphold and respect the life of every human being from conception to natural death. And, God put us all here for certain reasons, and just because someone's sick or someone's ill, I mean, who are we to say this person should live and this person should not live? It just doesn't make sense. I would have to say that the death penalty is always wrong. No human being has the right to take the life of another human being, regardless of the situation. But in just talking about the logistics of the death penalty, I mean, I believe, as far as my understanding goes, that the death penalty has been proven to not be a deterrent in crime, meaning that these crimes are still being committed and people aren't afraid of dying. So it's not doing its job in that sense. And the other argument for the death penalty is said, well, it's so much to keep these prisoners alive in prison. It's also my understanding that it's much more expensive to keep someone alive on death row than it is to keep them in prison for life, between the lawyers and all of the appeals and, you know, and all of the technical things involved, aside from the fact that, you know, it's an absolute. No human being has that right. I mean, we're not God. We don't know God's plan. Most of the time, things are very cloudy to us. I had a teacher in high school who one time used the analogy that, you know, the world and the universe is like a bowl of Jell-O. And, you know, to God, looking down into the bowl of Jell-O, he can see all of us very clearly and see all of us, you know, part of this bowl of Jell-O. I know it sounds kind of silly, but, you know, but us as being in that bowl, you know, it's cloudy, we can't see, we kind of have to work our way sometimes. But just because we don't understand it fully doesn't mean that we have the right to play God.
So, what are your views on the death penalty?
I think the death penalty is wrong, 110%, like she said, in all situations. And someone else on the Man on the Street earlier said that he thinks it's more suitable for the person just to rot in jail. Like, it does sound really bad, but I agree with that. I think it gives them more time to feel sorry.
The death penalty does give you that sense of comfort that they're not going to be back on the streets. And well, that's just one less person in there. And if you let them sit in jail, you're still taking away their life. It's just put under strict order.
What's the difference? Why kill them then?
There's a lot of good people out there that their lives are ruined because of bad people in the world.
But God sees everyone as equal. He sees the sinners and the non-sinners as the same. It's not like he gave you a bad choice in your life. You take it back, and he gave you that life, so you have to respect that. But you know, what do you guys think about assisted suicide?
Well, I think assisted suicide is definitely wrong because, like, when God created you, he has his own path. Like, he knows exactly what you're going to do in life. And when you do something like assisted suicide, it's just like disobeying him and just saying, like, oh, I'm going to do what I want to do and I don't care what you think.
Yeah, it's basically, if you love someone and you care about someone, how could you ever live with yourself if you help them kill themselves?
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of other forms of help. It's like, you know, there's never a good enough reason for suicide. You know, that's like, there's a million ways out. You can get help, you can get, you know, go to they have special like hospitals and psychiatric things, you know.
In relation to both topics, if you take someone else's life away, I think you're just as bad as the person who took that other person's life away.
Mm-hmm. Like Nicole said, our church teaches us that we should respect life from the conception to the natural death.
Do we do that? How do we show respect for life?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
Well, you should just respect yourself, respect others around you, watch what you do, and just respect yourself, your body, and everything.
I treat my body right. Your body's a temple. You gotta watch what you put into it.
Yeah, don't hurt my body in any way. Make sure I'm always doing things that are healthy, eat right, stuff like that.
I don't know, I try to live every day to the full.
Seize the day, take advantage of your time here, and enjoy.
Just try to be courteous to everybody and be polite, nice, and just try not to be a jerk.
You treat everyone nice and they'll be nice to you, and you know, it works that way.
Just show everybody respect.
Being respectful, taking care of myself and taking care of others.
By living it. If you don't live it, you know, you're missing out on everything.
Yeah, you don't judge people, and everyone's here to do the same thing, so just let everyone live. God loves everyone.
Even though some people don't believe in God, I mean, he created everybody and he's gonna love everybody. And no matter what, he always forgives you, so.
Everyone's unique and God loves everyone, no matter how rich, how poor, how, like,
Like, if you're sick or if you're perfectly healthy, it doesn't matter. He loves you.
Absolutely. I think that if there is a God, then everybody is absolutely unique, equal.
They may try and conform to everyone else. They are unique, they are deep. They just got to find it.
How does your faith shape the way you treat the unborn, those with mental or physical illnesses, or those in prison?
I don't know. I guess like it varies because people in prison, you know, they've made mistakes. People with disabilities, I mean, they were just like, those kind of things happened to them. Then there's nothing they could have done to stop that. So it differs. Yeah.
I volunteer at a nursing home, so I mean, I'm pretty much used to that kind of stuff. My best friend's little brother is partially retarded, so we take care of him. He's a cool kid, though.
I know one way that I try to show respect for life is always being polite as much as I can and always lending a helping hand when people really need it.
I know that my faith helps to shape the way I look at the unborn and people with disabilities because God gave them a purpose for life, and that's why they're here. And God values them, and He put them here for a reason. And I don't think the unborn should have some kind of like their purpose taken away.
Does your faith shape the way you look at or respect the unborn or people with mental or physical disabilities?
I actually have a cousin who has Down syndrome. Well, they're not really our cousins, like blood related, but we're such good friends with them. And he was born with Down syndrome. You know, he had a lot of problems with his heart, but now he's in perfect health. He's in good condition. And at first, when he was first born, everyone was like, "Oh my God, now this baby has Down syndrome. Now we have to do." You know, they were scared at first, thinking like, "Oh, we have to do this, we have to do that." But then, as time went on, they realized, you know, it's really not that big a deal. And our faith tells us that we have to basically say that now it's our job to tell other people that it's really not that big a deal at all.
I know with the unborn, my faith gives me the belief that life begins at conception. So, like Marissa was saying, that you can't take away like such an innocent life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, also, like when you take away an unborn child's right to life, you take away their right to contribute to the world, and you know that's one of the reasons why God gives us the right to live.
They can do so many great things. You know?
Yeah, you never know what kind of life you're taking away too. So.
Yeah, Beethoven's mom, I heard this somewhere, almost had an abortion because all of her other children had like disabilities and stuff. And could you imagine if she had that abortion, like what the world would have missed out on?
Yeah, he was like a musical genius. Imagine like not having him here, like.
Mm-hmm. But it's not just what they could have contributed. It was the fact that it's a human life, and they deserve to be respected and treated equally as everyone else wants to be.
It is in the teenage years that we begin to develop our views on important life issues.
Nicole was actually not opposed to abortion in her early high school years.
It wasn't until she was about 18 or 19 that after her own study on the topic, she made a complete 180 on the whole issue.
She even went as far as to start a pro-life club at her college.
Let's hear her story now.
I come from a Catholic family. I wouldn't say that we are very strong Catholics all the time, but we try to go to church as best as we can. And my mom, as she got older, became more and more interested in Catholic issues, and so these kind of conversations were going on a lot at home. And as a high school student, I really didn't want to listen to it at all. I thought her ideas were very biased. I thought she was being very closed-minded. I would have to say that the majority of time in high school, I considered myself pro-choice. I wasn't a pro-abortion advocate. I didn't say, you know, abortion is the greatest thing. But I definitely said, you know, I think abortion is wrong, but, you know, who am I to take that right away from someone else? And as I got older and, you know, I learned more and started to read a little bit more and to discover things on my own, I started to change around my own ideas, and, you know, I kind of sucked up my pride, said, I guess, Mom, you know, you might be right on this one. I had started to become interested in the pro-life cause about my senior year in high school, so it seemed like a good match for me. in college. We did not have a pro-life club to name of, and I started the club on campus. We spent all of the first year just kind of organizing ourselves, and now we have a listserv of probably over 100 members, people who came out interested in it. It's very interesting and very rewarding to see it grow, but also very difficult at the same time. You know, it's not a popular idea, especially on a college campus. There's a lot of misunderstanding involved. People want to label you as something immediately. They want to stick you in a category, in a specific political party, and it's very challenging. You know, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm, you know, walking in shoes a little bit too big for me. It's a very difficult thing, but we're growing, and I'll be working on it for one more year before I leave. So I'm hoping to leave a legacy behind. Hopefully, the students after me will continue on.
I know I can relate to Nicole's story because before I found my faith, I wasn't really sure about abortion, and I didn't really think about it a lot. But now that I have my faith, I know that it's wrong, and that's what I believe in. So
it was interesting how she changed her mind after she did her own studying on the topic.
Yeah, so have you guys had like that kind of experience before?
Well, I haven't, but I know Roe from the Supreme Court case, Roe versus Wade, which is the case that made abortions legal. She had that whole case just so she could get an abortion, but she never ended up having one. And then like 20 years later, she converted to Catholicism, and now she's pro-life.
Is there anything we can do to promote choices and actions that respect life?
Next, Nicole tells us what she does to promote life and gives us some advice on what we can do.
You know, it's a very difficult topic to talk about with people, and you know, aside from the club, just in daily life, I work very hard to not be afraid to talk about pro-life issues with my friends and try to get them to understand where I come from. This cause isn't one that's going to be, I don't think is going to be one as much through courts and legislation as it is in just turning around people's ideas about the value of human life. And that starts from the inside out. It starts in daily life. So I believe it was Mother Teresa who said, you know, Jesus doesn't ask us to love the whole world, he just wants us to love one another. So it's very important that in a pro-life cause, or anybody interested in the pro-life cause, it's just as important to treat everyone around you with dignity as it is to fight in the courts and to elect the right politician. American society is not secular in my mind, it's very godless most of the time. And so, I mean, Pope John Paul II called us to be a culture of life. And I don't think young people realize sometimes how that's directly or directed at us, because, you know, we have the power to change that culture right now. The pro-life cause isn't a political thing all the time. It's not a legislative thing. It's not something that they'll worry about when they get older, or it's not just, you know, the group of old ladies at their parish who want to protect the unborn. It's their job to promote this culture, because, you know, we're born into this life. At the moment we're born, we begin to die. We continuously have to choose life as we go through our own lives. So it's a choice that we have to make, and our culture needs to support that for things to really for things to change.
So what do you think? Do you agree with Nicole that it's up to us to help turn people's ideas around on this?
Yeah, I do. You know, God tells us in the Bible that we need to spread his word and his teachings, and because of that, I think that we need to share the church's views on these subjects, these life issues.
And we really are the future, so we're going to determine what happens later on.
And a good way to like promote pro-life is maybe like start a club like Nicole or something like that.
And like you said before, Roe versus Wade, she definitely changed her mind because she was influenced by Catholics around her. So, I mean, that was a great example.
Father Kenneth Overberg offers some good suggestions on how the average Catholic can put respect for life and the dignity of each person into practice. His advice is easily adapted for teenagers.
Remember human dignity when making moral decisions.
We need to ask ourselves, what is my decision or action doing for and to people?
Believe in your own worth. We are each unique and precious, created by God.
We need to reject the message of advertisements that tell us our value depends on the clothes we wear, the car we drive, or how much money we make.
Be aware of the questions of respect for life at your school. your workplace, and your neighborhood.
How is the dignity of each person respected or not being respected?
Get involved in political issues and vote responsibly.
When people make decisions that deny human dignity, we cannot and should not, as Christians, remain silent.
And start now in your home and in your community.
To get more information on the Catholic teachings on the dignity of life,
log on to our website. The address is www.realfaithtv.com.
Or you can call us at 609-406-7402.
We leave you with this quote by the U.S. Catholic bishops in the reflection on sharing Catholic social teachings.
We believe that every person is precious.
That people are more important than things.
And that the measure of every institution is whether it threatens or enhances the life and dignity of the human person.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on Real Faith TV. God bless.
This episode of Real Faith TV was brought to you in part by the Pick Foundation.